It is still the spooky season, at least for a few more days. So, I reviewed another spooky movie. Boom! Did I get you? Is that a jump scare? Alright, well. This is Cargo. It's a 2018 film on Netflix with audio descriptions starring Martin Freeman. This is what this is. This is that film. That film that time forgot. the film that... Martin Freeman is just not a big enough actor for people to be like, what? It's a Martin Freeman movie. Dude was in The Hobbit. People were like, it's not Elijah Wood. Let's be honest. It's just not. He's not. And The Hobbit didn't quite have the reception of Lord of the Rings the first time around. So Martin Freeman's career didn't explode. But dude was on Sherlock. And I'll tell you what, I fucking love Breeders. I think I'm like the only person who watches Breeders. I've yet to meet anyone in the wild who watches Breeders. Just like, every time I mention it, people are like, what? And I have to explain to them that it's a TV show and it exists. And they're like, what? So, I don't think anybody ever watches the show. I don't know what happens. I think FX just... I don't know why they air it. Apparently no one watches it. I posted on social media, everybody dead silence. So if you watch Breeders, you're the other one. You're the other guy. It's just the two of us. Just the two of us. We can make it if we try. And this is also about sort of kind of like just the two of us. Martin Freeman plays Andy. He's a father. This film is shot in Australia. I believe it's shot in Australia. I'm pretty certain it's shot in Australia. And it's a lot of Australian stuff at the beginning of the film to let me know. There was a lot of participation from various production committees of Australia. So it's the deduction qualities that I've used for this. Subscribe for deduction. I too can be Sherlock, and Martin Freeman can be my Watson. Together we shall ride through Cargo. So it's a zombie apocalypse movie, which is why it qualifies as being a movie appropriate for spooky season. And I guess it's got some moments, you know. I mean, the potential threat of spooky season, also the potential threat of bad choices and bad life decisions. You know, pretty much that's kind of how anything ever happens in this film, is that somebody makes a bad choice, bad life choice. At this point, this is not World War Z. The zombies are not. They never have to like run from a horde of like hundreds of zombies. You know, they never feel like, we gotta go in that building there, but oh my god, look at all those zombies. No, it's just kind of like, oh, there's one. There's a walker. Well, it's way over there. You'll probably just keep going. It's not gonna catch up, so let's keep going. He's trying to get his literal baby to like a safe place, or a safer place than where he is now, for spoiler reasons. So, he has a journey and he has to go on. There's also a little girl along the way who has been separated from her parents and would like to not be separated from her parents, I suppose. And kind of helps him, assists him. There are other people along the way. He actually has a wife at the beginning of this. However, Netflix's description of the movie does kind of suggest that it's him that has to take the baby across the country. So, not really my spoiler. It's just sort of like the plot description of the film. It's Martin Freeman has to do this. Um, he's on an unexpected journey, you might say, before he can go there and back again. Yes. So, anyway, it's a little slow. It's a little slow. I'll give you that. I kind of saw Cargo get a little just kind of dismissed, and I was always like, "Ah, oh, come on now, guys. Smart Freak can't be that bad." But I never watched it. Then I watched it, and I was like, "Oh, it's still not that bad. It's not like a bad movie. It's just a little slow. This could have used some editing." It's a zombie film sort of in the same vein as Maggie, you know? And I like Maggie. I think Maggie is probably Arnold Schwarzenegger's technically best proficient acting performance. You know? If we're really breaking down his entire career, Maggie is probably the one where you feel the most dramatic heft from him on camera. So this is a little like that. I just disagree with a lot of the life choices that sometimes they make in this film. I don't know that everything makes sense. I'm not sure that the director's vision quite laid out the way that he wanted it to. I don't think that everything is successful in this film. It's definitely not scary, I would say. The R rating is probably for violence, gore, and the everlasting sense of doom and dread that the film maintains, of shit hitting the fan at some point in the near future, which it does have it has sort of like a ticking clock feel, like if we don't get this accomplished by a certain period of time, that'll happen. Whatever that sound effect is, it's gonna happen. But there's just certain things about this movie that are silly. Especially the ending. The ending is I appreciated it. I was like, I see what you're doing there, but also at the same time, I was like, it's really silly. It's really silly. It's a bit much. It's a bit much when you get to the ending and you're like, oh, this is a moment we're having. This is a moment. I see what we're doing here. But really, this is what we're doing. This is your choice. This is the choice that you've made. I mean, I can see why you made it. I just don't know. Don't know if this is the best use. The best choice, best course of action. So, yeah. Anyway, it's frustrating to watch because people just don't make great life choices, and it's also way longer than it needs to be. I'd be honest and say, if I were you, I would just kick up a bit of that, since Netflix allows you to modify the speed. Kick it up a little bit. Kick it up to like 1.25. It'll feel like it's more action-packed than it actually is. Anyway, the audio description on this was fine. I liked it. It definitely helps the couple of scenes that have even like the most remote possibility of suspense to them. We do get suspense, and there are certain things that happen in the film that are visual things that happen that we have to know are happening. We have to have context. I would say this movie wouldn't make a whole lot of sense without audio description. You would miss large chunks of things. There are certain things that are happening that people choose to do, and they don't necessarily say, look over here at what I'm doing. I am over here tying rope. Why won't anybody acknowledge what I'm doing? You know, I don't know. Nobody says, you know, they just kind of do things that are relevant to the plot. They have things in their possession that are relevant to the plot. So that's kind of what this is. And plus, you really want this ending to be described to you. I mean, I gotta give you props. Please make it to the ending, because no matter how you feel about the film, the ending of the film will either have you giggling or screaming with laughter, or maybe you'll be that one person that it reaches where the emotional tearjerker just comes in and then you'll be weeping. There are only two visceral. There's no center to this. There's no like, wow, that's a powerful ending. Thank you so much for that. There's either giggling, howling with laughter, or you got affected in the way in which this director intends, which is, oh my god, this is so amazing. I can't believe after all this, I'm just so moved right now. This is such a moving ending. I'm just so happy right now. I don't seem happy with this ending. It really got to me. So, yeah, those are the two endings. Those are two choices. There's nobody in the middle. Nobody in the middle. Nope. Everybody either giggled or laughed out incredibly hard, or they started crying. I'm sure if it was a theater full of people, I could have polled them and I could have been like, how many of you laughed? A bunch of people would raise their hands. How many of you cried? People would raise their hands. I'd be like, how many of you did neither? No one would raise their hand. There is no middle ground here. So please stay for the ending. It's totally worth it, one way or the other. So I can't imagine that you won't have a visceral reaction to how this movie ends. It's an actual like, ah. Anyway, so Cargo. It's 5 years late, but I checked it out, and you know, if Martin Freeman wasn't in this, I'd be willing to go negative, but he is in this. I think he's a damn fine actor, and I think he sells the plot. I think there are some choices here that are pretty good. Actually, I think the cast overall, even though I don't know the rest of the cast, like they're not names where I'm like, oh wow, so-and-so's in this. I think they all do a pretty good job. It's just a movie as slow as molasses. This is like the slowest. It's like the film itself is The Living Dead. So I'm not really impressed by the director. You know, if a movie was coming out later on down the line, they were like, from the director of Cargo, I'd be like, oh, I wouldn't have put that. I wouldn't have admitted to that. But yeah, I'm gonna maintain an ounce of positivity here with this film, and I'm gonna give Cargo a C. I'm gonna keep it in the middle. I'm not gonna go positive or go negative. I think there's a lot of both in here, and but mostly there's Martin Freeman, and I feel like he keeps the film from going down the tubes. So, tremendously underrated actor. Please watch Breeders. Way better than this. This is something I was oddly looking forward to it, but never watched it for 5 years. Like for 5 years, I've been sitting here going like, man, I really want to see Cargo. Then I just don't. So finally, this spooky season, I needed 31 horror movies to watch, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna finally watch Cargo. I was like, oh, damn. I should have left it as like this mystery wonder that I never saw, so I could just always be mystified by the amazing possibilities that Cargo could have brought to me, instead of actually knowing that, yeah, Cargo is not perfect. Far from perfect. But that ending, though. Anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. I'm trying to get to 200 this year, so if you could click subscribe, that'd be great. I'm like, I don't know, 17 people away, so it's not that far. Anyway, I also have a website, MacTheMovieGuy.com. You can follow me on X, Threads, or Instagram at MacTheMovieGuy. You can go to the audio description project, adp.acb.org. It'll let you know who's narrating your favorite films and television series. And you can go to the adna.org. That's the adna.org. And it'll let you know. That one will let you know. Audio description project will let you know where the movies are, where you can watch them. The adna will let you know who's narrating them. Fuck that one up. Anyway, thanks for watching. Honesty. That's what you get here at Mac the Movie Guy. I watch something else and see you guys on the other side.